Namaste. For the next few seconds, please close your eyes while I ask you a few questions. And if you relate to it, please raise your hand. If you ever lost someone you truly loved, please raise your hand. Ever had your heart broken? Please raise your hand. If you or someone new ever had to cope through mental or physical illness or any kind of physical impairments, please raise your hand. If you ever have been personally impacted by the natural disaster, wars, pandemics, please raise your hand. Now open your eyes and look around you. What do you see? Adversity does not discriminate. Please take your hands down, everyone. Thank you. When I was born, my mother suffered from a serious illness. She wasn't even able to breastfeed me. So my dad took me to my maternal grandparents when I was just 3 weeks old. It was my mother's parents who raised me. My maternal uncles were my father figure, and I grew up playing with their sons and daughters thinking they were my siblings. Until one day when I was 4 years old, a man showed up and said, "Hey, I'm here to take you back home." And I had never seen this man in my life before. I wasn't ready to leave my grandparents in the home where I grew up. But despite all of it, I was taken back to my parents. And I landed in a house unknown to an elder brother and a younger sister whom had never known before. In my new home, I miss my grandparents who fed me, clothed me, showered me, tucked me in the bed, and moved the mountains to save my life. So in grief, I lost my appetite and I fell sick. And fearing that I wouldn't survive, my dad had to take me back to my grandparents. Every time I get to visit my grandparents, countless stories, some from my family members and some from the people in my community, about how gracefully my grandparents raised me, enduring all the hardships. 25 years of beautiful life, a life that was nurtured with love. Love is all that I saw. Love is all that I learned. Love saved my life. I was pneumonic, and fortunately, my uncle was a doctor. So I was treated at home. I was very afraid of injections, and it always required 4 people to hold me before I received an injection, and 4 extra people to look for me if I managed to run away. So my uncle gave me a life hack. He said, "Close your eyes, and you won't feel afraid." And for some reason, it worked. I didn't feel the fear of injections anymore. I believe it had a deeper meaning, though. If you stand on a top of a cliff and you start measuring the depth, you'll never be able to jump. So closing my eyes was like wearing a parachute. I wore it every time I had to take the plunge. Years passed and life went on, but fate had other plans for me. One day I woke up to the news that my uncle was not doing well. He was receiving the medical care and he was found to be infected with metastatic lung cancer. The man who had saved the lives of many, including mine, was the one who needed to be saved from a life-threatening disease. My world shattered. When you have someone in your life who builds you, loves you unconditionally, fulfills all your wishes, they become a part of you that can never be separated. For me, that person was my uncle. He was the one who showed me what unconditional love truly meant. He had always been there for me, like a father, watching me grow day by day, supporting me when I stumbled, encouraging me when I failed. My heart ached at the thought of losing him, and I prayed every day and night, begging God to spare his life and take mine instead. All right. We did everything we could for the 7 long years in the hope of a miracle. And he reminded us of Fred throughout his fight for survival. On the second week of March 2016, he started having strokes. I had never seen anything in my life as terrifying as that before. We had to grab his body to protect him from paralysis. I remember one last thing that will stay with me forever as long as I live. While taking him to the hospital for the final time, he put one hand on his son and the other on my shoulder. This is who I was to him. He counted on me for as long as he lived. I wish for those handful of seconds, I wish I knew that those seconds were his last ones with me. I would have held him a little tighter and told him what he meant to me. On March 18, 2016, he passed away in 24 hours in coma. The pain of his loss was unbearable, and I felt like a part of me died with him. I struggled to terms with the fact that I would never see him again. I would never hear his voice and feel his embrace. And all I was left with was this question: why do the worst things happen to good people? But guess what? The universe doesn't give you an answer. And you'll have to make peace in accepting that suffering is part of the human existence. I left my hometown and moved to another city for college. I had dreams and passions, and I started my first company, a magazine publication, invested thousands of dollars and months of hard work into it. But all the odds were against me. I was not given the permission to sell the copies in the market. With my CTO, who also happens to be a dear friend of mine, we packed 4 suitcases of magazines and traveled overnight to another city to sell them. We went door to door, drenched head to toe in the rain, and came back exactly 4 suitcases of magazines. For those moments in my life, I thought seemingly everything was going wrong. For the years of adversities and ongoing series of unpleasant events, it became a narrative that I believed. So even when I left India and moved to Europe, part of those narratives came along. I lived life in fear and scarcity. I failed at things I tried, failed my relationship, broke my heart, failed my venture, lost my money. One day, walking down to a beautiful park in Italy by myself, I was reminded by a quote from Tony Robbins, and he said something profound. He said, "The strongest force in the human personality is the need to remain consistent, find yourself." So walking down the park, I had a choice as to which identity I wanted to adopt. I could be a victim and complain about life, but I could choose something more empowering and change the narrative. I went back to the hack my uncle had given me. Close your eyes, take over the mind. My parachute. Don't be afraid. A sentence that's been repeated 365 times in the Holy Bible. I closed my eyes and I felt as if I was going through metamorphosis. And the very first thing that I did was to accepting all the problems that I had instead of fearing and running away from them. I couldn't control what happened in the world around me, but I could choose how I would respond to it. For the next days, I remember sitting down to overwhelming situations multiple times, wanting to go through the memories of all that I loved and all that I lost. But each time I said to myself, no, I'm not getting back to this. I've got so much to live for, my family, my friends, my dreams, passions. In psychology, it's called benefit finding. And by doing so came gratitude, followed by sisters, hope, belief, endurance. In the pursuit of an opportunity within the adversary, you will not just survive but also thrive. You'll go beyond and embody what we call an anti-fragile mind. It's an empowering concept given by Nassim Nicholas Taleb in his book Antifragile, Things That Gain from Disorder. Some things benefit from shocks. They thrive and grow when exposed to volatility, randomness, disorder. They love adventure and they love risk, and they make the most out of uncertain times. It's resilience 2.0. Simply, resilience is when you put a pressure on a system, when the pressure is lifted, the system gets back to its original state. Anti-fragility take this idea a step further. When you put a pressure on a system, when the pressure is lifted, the system grows bigger and stronger than before. We see anti-fragile system all around us and within us. For example, our muscular system. You lift heavy in the gym, your muscles break, and in return you become stronger. We are an anti-fragile system. Almost everything in the universe that has lasted a significant portion of time has an anti-fragile system in place. This is simply because all the resilient things have been wiped out over the years as the universe changed around them. Over the period of the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to connect with and coach thousands of individuals. People of all ages and from all parts of this world. I've been to around more than 50 countries, and I never met a person who has done exceptional things in their lives without enduring exceptional crushings. In order to grow, we need these uncertain times. We need disorder in our lives. The only way, the only obstacle to the progress is your mind. It creates fear, doesn't embrace change. We now live in an uncertain time where we're constantly bombarded by the threats all day long, and our poor brain has the tendency to give weight to negative experiences over the positive ones. It's called the negativity bias. We are fixated to threat, and our stress response is on autopilot. Do not trust the way you see yourself when your mind is turbulent. It creates fear. Anything new, anything uncertain, we are immediately scared. We don't have to. We can take over it because the mind is not you. It's a tool to be used. If you don't use it, it'll use you. There's something beyond the mind. It's in your heart. It's your spirit, it's your soul. Lack of a better word, we call it love. When it'll be the dominant force in the decision making, you'll make the right decision. So I hope when the day comes and you'll have to make the decision, you choose to have faith in yourself, with love, and knowing the adversities would remain on earth haunting you from personal to social levels. Wars, pandemic, Great Depression, heartbreak, loss. Human lives have endured many, and we have many in the future. Make peace in accepting that if you're alive, you will suffer. There is no escape button. Suffer, and how you choose, how you come out of it will be your choice. So I hope when the day comes and you'll have to make the choice, you hold the ground with belief in yourself and embrace and love everything that comes your way. Because love is patient, love is kind, it bears all things, it believes all things, it hopes all things, it endures all things. Love is beyond the current. Thank you.